Are we back? All right, sorry about that, guys. I think we're back. I apologize. This is all new. So, anyway. All right, sorry about that, guys. I think we're back. I apologize. This is all new. But here we have our fussy cut llamas. Did you see this? So cute. So now let's see if, do you guys want to see how to thread base something? Let me know and I can thread base something for you too, just to kind of show you how to do it. So now let's see if, do you guys want to see how to thread base something? Let me know and I can thread base something for you too, just to kind of show you. Here we go. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. We'll get it squared away. Okay. So let's thread base one of these. Let's see. So I'm not going to fussy cut this one. I'm just going to take one of these shapes and just cut around a flower and show you how. So if we're not fussy cutting and we're just putting the fabric around the shape, I'm just going to cut it down a little bit. Get some better scissors. All right, so I've kind of roughly cut it 1/4 of an inch all around. So here I have it ready to be thread basted this time. So I'm just going to thread baste it. So what I do, this is when I use my fun little clips. And I just kind of pre-fold them. Whoops. And I usually keep 5 or so of these clips in my kit because normally I'm doing hexagons or something like that. And so I'm pinning 5 sides or clipping 5 sides and I am sewing one side. But you can keep as many as you would like. So, again, I'm going to go clockwise around and I'm going to just fold this corner and I want to hold it pretty stiff. I want to keep it pretty tight around that corner, nicely folded. So then I'm going to take my pre-threaded needle, and my length of thread is usually the length of my forearm, no longer than that. And I'm going to stick it inside of the fold, if you can see what I'm doing, and just sort of come out right at that fold, just to hold it in place and keep that thread away from the corner. So then I'm going to take a little stitch there, so I sort of came through this way and just looped around that fold. Then I'm going to carry my thread over to the next fold, and I'm just going to pull, sticking it through. So the fold is right there. I'm sticking it through so that it just sort of catches both sides of that fold. And I'm going from right to left. I'm kind of giving it a little tug. And then I'm doing the next side. So there's my fold. So there you can see how they're starting to hold into place. I'm going to remove that clip. I'm going to come over to this side. And just so that you know, if there's a little bit of this that's folded, that's sticking out over the edge like that from the front, doesn't matter, because you're going to be stitching this edge. So then I'm going to do it again to this one. And this is matching thread. So if you guys really can't see it, I'll try to do one with contrasting thread next. And I'm not sewing through the paper. So when I stick the needle in, I can definitely feel where that paper is and just sort of stitch around, or, you know, avoid stitching through the paper. And then one last unstitched edge there. And then I'm going to go back to the first basted edge. I'm still holding that in place, and I'm going to stitch that down. So now I've stitched down all four corners. If you feel like they're not crisp enough and you want them to be a little more crisp, you can press this with an iron and it will hold in place. And I just usually loop through that edge once to make a little knot. Sometimes I don't even do that. Sometimes I just leave the thread really long, because these basting stitches can eventually be taken out. And then you clip it. So that's how you thread baste. And I will say it goes much quicker than that when you know what you're doing, when you're kind of playing around with it. So, could everybody see that okay? Did that make sense? Let me know in the comments. So now, oh, thank you, Sue. My goal is to become the fussy cutting Zen master. Sue said my fussy cutting turned out great. So, so here's what I've got so far, and it's hard to see these white pieces on here, but I was so in love with the way that these little llamas went all the way around here. So I think I picked one up, but anyway, so my plan for this one was to fussy cut motifs all the way around. I've got another round to do, a couple more llamas to cut, so I'm going to work on that. And then I have another one that I'm going to do with, if I can find it, some really cute rifle paper fabric that I'm going to do for Dry Goods Design. It's a shop here in Seattle. So this one, I don't think I'm going to fussy cut. I think I'm just going to cut these regularly, except for this one print. I think these birds might be kind of fun to fussy cut. I need to make sure that there's enough on there to cut, but I think that could be super cute. If I weren't going to leave the pieces in, would I thread baste? You could actually thread or glue baste if you're not going to leave the papers in. The glue basting is really just a temporary hold. It's not going to be a permanent hold, so it wouldn't hold the fabric to the paper so tightly that you couldn't just pop it out. So let me show you an example. Like here's the one that I just glue basted. So say you've sewn all of the pieces around it, and now you're ready to remove the paper. You can just take, you know, you can just take it off this way. It comes off pretty easily. I think that Alyssa had a really great tip. If you're going to take the papers out, before you put the paper into, or before you put the fabric around the paper, she punches a little hole in it so that you can stick a needle inside of it and just pull out the paper. So she does that with just a little tiny hole punch, which is a great idea. You could do it either way. If you're planning to take the paper out, or if you're not planning to take the paper out, you can thread or glue baste. Both of them work just fine. Oh, here's my other llama. I was so afraid that I lost it. So that's sewing the individual shapes. And so that's all that we're going to do for this evening, because my son is at marching band practice and has to be picked up, and then he's going back to a game an hour later to march, and so he needs dinner. And I didn't realize this when I scheduled this, but, you know, mother duty calls. I'm sure you guys understand. So this is what my plan is. I will join you guys again in the next Facebook Live video. We're going to stitch these pieces together, and I believe that that is coming up. I think it's Monday night? I'm not sure. I'll post it. We'll have a few days to stitch these all together and to pick our fabrics, and I will post this video so that everybody can see and catch up. But like I said, do not stress if you're not caught up, because it just doesn't matter. This is supposed to be fun. Thank you, Sue. It's Monday. So the next Facebook Live video here, and hopefully we'll have all the technical issues figured out, will be Monday at 4 o'clock Pacific time. So by that point, we will be starting to stitch these all together. In the meantime, feel free to join Alyssa over in Penguin and Fish Crafters Facebook group. She is stitching, and she's stitching every evening. I believe it's at 9:30 Central Time. I think she does it every night, and she's just stitching. I think she's already stitched this, and now she's continuing to add more pieces, and it's really fun to watch her do it. So Alyssa, if you're listening, thank you so much for stitching along with us. So if you guys have questions, leave the questions in the Facebook group. I'm happy to answer, and like I said, I will send you I will upload the video, the recorded video, so that everybody that could not tune in will be able to see it. And we'll just keep stitching, all right? Happy stitching, you guys. Thank you so much for joining me and making this project so much fun. I am thoroughly enjoying everybody's version. So keep posting them and sharing what you're doing. And we'll keep making our special snowflakes. All right. Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.